In what way does your media product use, develop or challenge forms and conventions of real media products?
Well, I think it's unusual that the killer in my film is actually a woman, because usually it's a male, because people tend to think that men are the only people who are able to kill. So I think it's going to be quite a breakthrough that it's a female that's being the murderer. In my film there's the usual conventions of things like murder, and the young girls, they go away on their own to the middle of nowhere and become murdered, but what's different and sets mine apart from anybody else's is the fact that the murderer is a woman, which isn't really the usual thing in a horror movie. And I think that people will find that really interesting, and I think that could set my movie apart from all of the rest. One other thing that I think is quite interesting about my film is there's actually no survivors in the end. Usually in a horror movie there's usually one survivor and perhaps like the murderer might die, but at the end of my film the murderer lives and girls die, so I think that's quite different to usual kinds of films like horror movies and things.
How effective is the combination of your main product and ancillary texts?
I think the ancillary tasks that went with my film trailer have been really great. I mean, I could never have hoped for them to really boost my film as much as they did. In the opening week, I mean, we broke records. Like, we had the best-selling cinema tickets in the whole of about 10 years, I think. I mean, I couldn't have asked for anything more, and I think it is because of the posters and all of the other things that we did. I mean, we had great big posters and this great magazine cover issue that we did in Sport. I mean, it was just fantastic. I really loved what they did with the images and the way that they used like pictures from the film, and I mean, I loved getting my say in there. It was great. It was great to be able to tell people about my film and like why it was so great compared to any others, and I think that that really helped me.
What have you learned from your audience feedback?
From my audience feedback, I've found that maybe it would have been better perhaps to leave one girl alive and to have more than just the two young girls in the whole film, because I think perhaps it is a bit weird that they both die in the end and there's no survivors. But I felt that they both had to die because it would be weird to just kill one person. It wouldn't be much of a storyline, but perhaps it would have been better if there was more than just two girls on holiday together.
How did you use new media technologies in the construction and research, planning and evaluation stages?
When I was making the film, I was trying to make it particularly low budget, and like to do this I felt that it was really important for me to use everyday software. So I used mostly the Apple Mac, and used things such as Final Cut and Logic Pro to create my music and things. And I think it's worked really well considering, and I can't believe how great the final thing looks. It's amazing, but I mean, I used a digital camera, shot everything on just a handheld camera with a tripod really, and I think that's amazing that technology is so great these days. Like, you don't need to have a great big camera with great big effects and things to make something look really good. I mean, it's just the simple things in life, and that just is what made it so great, because in the end I didn't really have to spend out too much money, so it's great for me because I've made a great return on it, and that could hopefully help me support my next film in the cinema.